If budgeting has ever made you feel broken, this might be why. I forget what I bought, I hyperfocus, then I burn out. I lose track of time. If any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Hi, friends. Today I want to talk about budgeting when your brain doesn't like rules, routines fall apart fast, and every week looks completely different. I am not officially diagnosed, but I check off so many ADHD boxes that it's hard to ignore. I work in circles. I start a bunch of things and then circle around doing a little of each at a time. I forget what I've bought. I leave drawers and cabinet doors open. I overschedule my time. I hyperfocus and then crash. In traditional budgeting, it doesn't hold up for me. So I've created something that does. When my son was first diagnosed with ADHD, it was like the doctors were describing me. Every checklist item, every behavior, I totally saw it in myself. And if you've ever sat in a doctor's office hearing a list of symptoms for your child and suddenly thought, oh, wait, that's me, you're not alone. I should probably get this checked out officially, but for now, I'm just learning how to work with the brain that I apparently have. I've tried spreadsheets, cash envelopes, zero-based plans. They're all great, but they all left me feeling defeated. I would forget categories, miss due dates, blow through the fun money in a day, and feel like I've completely failed. The rigid systems just don't fit the way my brain works. I'd sit down with good intentions, color code everything, feel productive for about a day, and then my life would happen. A therapy appointment would run long, dinner wouldn't get made, and I'd be too overwhelmed to log anything into a spreadsheet. With ADHD tendencies, I tend to work in bursts. I hyper-focus on one thing, and then I forget everything else going on. I spend an hour setting up the budget binder and then not open it for weeks. Or I'd write down a plan, but forget where I put the plan. And even when I've tried apps, I forget to open them, or I'd miss a notification, and it just becomes very frustrating. So much of budgeting advice is based on consistency and routines, and that's exactly where I struggle the most. So I was kind of left feeling like I just couldn't do it, like I was failing at something that everyone else seemed to manage just fine. So I've given myself permission to budget differently. And if you're looking for something that actually works for your ADHD brain, I have some ideas that might work for you too. I start with feelings, not the numbers. I give myself 3 top priorities each week instead of 20,000 categories I've got to figure out. I track progress weekly, not daily. And I build in forgiveness money when I inevitably forget or impulsively spend, because that will happen. The forgiveness money, that's been a big change for me. It's been a total game changer. I actually budget about $100 a week as a buffer zone. I stick it in the gas money pile so my brain doesn't automatically think I have it to spend. But it's there for moments I forget something. We run out of something early. I make a spontaneous choice that doesn't fit perfectly into the plan. And because it's already budgeted for, I don't have to go into a spiral of guilt or shame, and it gives me some breathing room. I've also stopped tracking every single dollar. I track by big, flexible categories like groceries, household, therapy, and gas. If a category starts to grow too fast or feels out of control, that's when I'll zoom in and look more closely at it to see what's going on. So I just have income, bank loans, bills, and debt. Those are my large categories. And then I have food and miscellaneous, gas and tolls. Food and miscellaneous is anything I can buy at Walmart or Target. It just goes in one big category. Lowe's, things for the house, just one category. And so we try to stick within the budget for everything in there. Gas and tolls, it's my husband and my gas and tolls thrown into one little category. Any parking expenses, anything like that, just goes here. Just big categories. I no longer try to micromanage every cent. And this approach micromanaging is just not sustainable for me. It doesn't make me any better with money, and it just makes me a lot more anxious. This way, I still have structure, but I also have the space to be human. If you're trying to figure out your own system, I have a few things that might make it easier for you. So 1, just pick one thing to track each week. Just one. Start with groceries, eating out, and build from there. Put all food in one category, or just keep your budget visible. Put it on your phone's lock screen, a sticky note where you charge your phone, or a sticky note in your wallet, or wherever your eye lands naturally. This is in my kitchen. It's on my counter where I cook every night. It's where I write my grocery list. It's where I get my homeschool prep for the day. It's where I figure out what I'm doing for the day when we look at our schedule. It's right at the main part of our house where everything is just really busy. Set reminders for bill due dates. Or if you're not into reminders, have one calendar in your budget. I have one calendar. I have all the due dates written here of my bills and what they are. And then I do color code them or put a check mark when they're paid so I know they're done. And you can set a reminder for a few days before they're due too, if you want to get something paid ahead or make sure you don't miss them. Make your budget. Make your budget. This feels rewarding, whether that's checking off a box, coloring a square, giving yourself credit for showing up. If something feels too rigid, change it. It's okay to change something that's not working for you. The best system is the one that you are actually going to use, not somebody else. And here's something else I've realized. I do lose track of time a lot. I totally have time blindness, and it's not unusual for me to forget what bill is due this week or next week, and I could potentially miss paying a bill thinking I've paid it. So I do try to use recurring reminders and calendar alerts on my phone if I have something coming up that's really important and I don't want to miss, something it's kind of out of the ordinary. And because memory alone, it doesn't work for me. And that's not a failure, right? That's just what happens when you most definitely probably have ADHD. I also know that motivation for me isn't steady. What worked last month might just feel boring this month, and my brain doesn't want to do it. So I give myself permission to switch up how I track things. Sometimes I'll color code my categories or use stickers. Other times I'll just keep it basic and use a check mark. It can change week to week what I do. Changing it up helps me stay engaged without needing everything to be perfect. I do check in with my bank balances every day or two, but not obsessively. Just enough to make sure I didn't forget something or accidentally overspend. That's my way of catching issues early without needing to log every single transaction. It's a gentle check-in, not a punishment. I know myself well enough to say I'm not going to track every receipt. I've tried. It doesn't work. I need something that works with how I function, not against it. Each week, I use a simple page and I look at how I'm feeling, what's coming up that week, what we absolutely need to do, and a small win to focus on. And this works better for me than long-term plans that I can't really stick to. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in a month, 6 months, 5 years from now. I have no idea, right? I don't know. Knowing me, I could join the circus in 5 years. I have no clue. But I can focus on what I need to do this week. And that can kind of get me through a little bit better. So tools that actually help me are visual paper planners. Digital apps are great for some people, but they're not for me. It's too much work to try to type things in or select categories or anything. It just doesn't work. I use the apps to check my balances, and then I put them in my little trusty paper planner. I also do my weekly reset that includes just double checking money, going over and making sure everything makes sense. And I also try to get myself into a place where I can pay 1 month ahead on all of our bills. It's not technically savings, and it does take a while to get to this place, but it creates a buffer for when life throws something unexpected at us. And honestly, it also saves me from forgetting to pay something, which has definitely happened before. And these little bits of space make a huge difference for the way my brain works. So if you've been feeling like budgeting is something you should be able to do, but you just can't, maybe it's not you. Maybe your brain just needs a different approach, and that's okay. The method I have has helped me feel more capable and way less anxious around money. So let me know in the comments, how does your brain respond to budgeting? Is it easy to do? Do you feel restricted as soon as you put that budget in place and need to go buy something? Or does it make you feel calmer? Let me know. and take a deep breath. You're doing better than you think. Until next time, bye.